As I stated before, both Pokémon Black and White 1 and 2 are my favorite video games of all time. These two titles mean a lot to me. They added a crap ton of new Pokémon, they improved the gameplay, they amazed me with awesome 3D graphics and an astounding soundtrack, and, most importantly, they made me love every Pokémon generation instead of being a close-minded Gen 1er. For all of that, they deserve a countdown dedicated only to them, and the best topic for this are the amazing bosses of these games. Now, there are a few things I want to say before we get started. First of all, this list will not include any battle against all gym leaders or champions from the Pokémon World Tournament. Don't get me wrong, I adore this epic extra mode, but if you like these battles so much, go and play them in the original games. Also, if I did include them, the entire list would be composed of Pokémon World Tournament matches. Also, unlike other bosses list, I will be judging these ones with a different criteria. Having said that, I will count down them based on their personality, their concept, their difficulty, their battle themes, and most importantly, how interesting their Pokémon teams are. Oh, and warning, there will be tons of spoilers for these games on here. Please remember this is my own personal opinion and it's perfectly okay if you disagree. Well, now that we are ready, let's begin! Oh Hugh, you were such an interesting character and rival. The main reason he started his Pokémon journey was to retrieve the purloin that was stolen from his sister years ago by Team Plasma. Unlike other rivals, he's not annoying and he helps you out as much as he can. This original backstory and personality makes him one of my favorite rivals in Pokémon history. After Team Plasma is defeated and you become a Pokémon champion, you go to Driftvale City and meet Hugh in time for a final showdown. So at number 10 we have the last battle against your rival, Hugh. Now his Pokémon have high level and are more powerful. It's a very fun and interesting battle, especially since it's the final match against your rival, which makes it even more awesome and intense. However, this is low on the list because Hugh's team doesn't have anything special, and it's very similar to other NPC's teams, especially Cheren. But even still, Hugh has an amazing character who offers an amazing battle, and his music theme is catchy as hell. And let's not forget, he can be fought as many times as you want after beating the game, but as much as he loved this epic rival, he can't beat my two childhood friends from the first game. Hugh may be the better character, but the rivals of the first Black and White, Cheren and Bianca, hold a deep place in my heart. Cheren is smooth, calm and wants to be the best Pokémon trainer in a fair way. On the other hand, Bianca is quirky, cute, energetic and only wants to be friends with everyone. Man, I sure adore Bianca.
What in the world? Will you watch where you're going?
After they overcome their personal backstories, which are awesome, and you beat the champion, just like Hugh, they now challenge you to a final battle. The fight against Cheren is challenging and intense. He truly shows why he wanted to be a Pokémon Master in the first place and why he's worthy of the Gym Leader title in the sequel. However, maybe Hugh copied most of his team, but this was not very original nor interesting in the first place, but he still offers a fair battle. Meanwhile, Bianca faces you with a more original team of Pokémon. While her battle is a lot easier, she's still tons of fun to beat. So yeah, both Cheren and Bianca share the number 9 spot. Cheren is challenging and intense, while Bianca is original and entertaining. I love these rivals, and I love how they made their comeback in Black and White too. Oh, the Striaton City Gym Leaders, definitely one of my favorites from the Unova region. Their concept is very creative. Each one of them masters a different type of elemental monkey, and in the original Black and White they will face you depending on their starter. Yeah, their battle was easy, but the concept itself was very original. However, there was something that bugged me during the events of the first game. They were 3 dealers on the same gym, but they never fight together. However, this was totally redeemed in the sequel. We are found again in another post-game battle. Silent, Crest and Chili don't appear during the main adventure. However, if you visit their city, you will find the triplets hanging around, who will challenge you to an epic tag team battle. One amazing aspect of this boss is that you can choose with which leader you will be fighting along. This means every time you battle them will be different than the previous one. Also, their 3 types, grass, water and fire, are very different from each other, so you will have to be careful and come up with a good strategy in order to beat the opponents while defending your partner at the same time. This amount of challenge makes it a fantastic battle. Their teams are obviously composed of Pokémon from their types. You know, Sinisage, Simipour, Simisear, Darmanitan, Shellicent, Maractus, and more awesome creatures from the fantastic Unova region. Well, most of them. Overall, the bonus Striaton Leaders battle from Black and White 2 has a creative concept, is strategic, and very challenging, and overall shows
real superpower of teamwork!
I'm not a Sonic fan, why did I make that joke? Honestly, the Striaton Leaders are my favorites of the region, but they don't have my favorite gym battle. That award goes for the always badass Drayden. Fuck yeah, this is one cool grandpa. In the original game, he could be only fought in the black version, while in the white version he teaches the powerful move Draco Meteor to your Pokémon. This makes him both awesome and useful. However, in the sequel, since Iris is not a leader anymore, he's fought in both versions. But heck, his 2 battles are so similar with very few differences, so I am placing both at number 7. So what makes Drayden so awesome? Well, first of all, both versions of his gym are amazing, with a simple yet effective puzzle centered around giant dragon statues and filled with really powerful trainers. But once you beat all of these, you still have a boss to defeat. Drayden's team is composed of only 3 Pokémon. His main Haxorus, a Dradigon, and a Fraxur that is replaced by a Flygon to avoid repetition in the sequel. Now, maybe only 3 Pocket Monsters sound pathetic, but trust me, they are not easy to beat. His Dragon-type Pokémon are well trained, and the only way to defeat them is with type advantage. Trust me, get an Ice or another Dragon if you want to win. Oh, and in Black and White 2, he helps you to defeat Team Plasma after they freeze a polluted city, making him useful again. In conclusion, Drayden not only is badass, but he also has a challenging battle for a leader, an epic gym, and helps you out in both games. Definitely one of my favorite gym leaders in Pokémon history, although I find his beard very disturbing. Boy, I've never seen a champion receive so much hate as Alder does. Everybody complains about him being different than other champions in the series. But you know, being different is actually a good thing in this case. First of all, instead of being a young and cool trainer, he's an old man. But with age comes wisdom, and man, Alder is a smart person. Another reason he's hated is because he has a more original team. But heck, I think that's awesome. Instead of being cheap and use pseudo-legendaries and the most powerful creatures of his region, he uses Pokémon he likes. So his team is very original. He uses the fast Axelgor, the defensive Escavalier, the powerful Vanillux, the stylish Bouffalant, the underrated Drodigon, and the amazing Volcarona. The battle itself may not be as challenging as other champions, but it's very fun nonetheless. Another good thing about Alder is that he has a very interesting backstory. When he was younger, his best Pokémon friend died of illness, changing his outlook on life and Pokémon friendships. That is a very emotional and interesting backstory for an NPC in the Pokémon series. Overall, Alder is pretty underrated. He's way more original than other champions, he has an interesting backstory, a great team, and a fun but intense battle. I would pick him over Lance or Blue every day.
No, God!
As I said on a previous countdown, the battle against Cynthia in Pokémon Diamond, Pearl and Platinum is one of my favorite final bosses ever. Cynthia herself is an awesome champion and her team is full of powerful and challenging Pokémons. And she returns for another incredible match in the 5th generation. Wait, I know what you're all thinking. Obsidious fan, you said there were not going to be any Pokémon World Tournament battles on here! You're a liar! Unsubscribe, dislike, fuck you! Calm your tits, bros, because I'm talking about the bonus boss against her in the original Black and White. That's right, in the first game you can find Cynthia in Undella City during spring or summer, and the battle itself is exactly like the one in her original games, except some of her Pokémon are replaced by other ones from Unova like Electros or Braviary, but this doesn't change much. This is still a fantastic showdown, which is a fair challenge at the same time. But if she was one of my favorite bosses in her original games, why is she only number 5 on here? Well, one of the main reasons her original battle was so awesome was the atmosphere behind it. You met her tons of times during the game, she helped you out, she developed as a character during the adventure, and now you were having an epic final showdown against her. In Black and White, you just find her relaxing in her beach house. Well, fuck it, this is still an amazing battle similar to the one in her games, with lots of challenge, an interesting new team, and a truly awesome character like Cynthia. Oh, and you can also face her as many times as you want. Major points for that. Oh, did I forgot to mention? You fight her during summer in a beach house. That means Cynthia in a bikini for the win! I love the new leader of Team Plasma in Black and White 2, Colress. Who is Colress exactly? Well, he fought you in order to understand how some trainers could draw out their Pokémon's strength. During the entire adventure, you meet him numerous times and you fight him to help his research, without knowing he's part of an evil team. At the end of the game, you meet him in the Plasma Frigate in time for a final battle. And while I love that fight, I prefer the rematch against him after you beat the Elite Four. Why? Well, he has more Pokémon, they are stronger, and he gives you a second Master Ball the first time you fight him. How awesome is that? Now let's talk about the battle itself. In his previous encounters, Colress used very similar Pokémon, mostly from the Magnemite and Kling evolution lines, but now he's a little bit different. Apart from using a Magnetone, a Magnezone, which is one of my favorite Pokémon, and a Klinklang, he surprised me by using a Big Yem, a Metagross, and even a Wash form Rotom. And let's not forget they are over level 70 during this rematch, which made him very challenging, but oh boy, I didn't have this fun with a Pokémon boss in a long time. Apart from being an interesting character and having an amazing battle, I also have to give major points for his battle theme, one of my favorites in the series. It's catchy, with a technologic sound that fits him, and trust me, it makes up for a perfect atmosphere. You may not understand why I love Colress so much, but you should face him in order to understand what I'm saying. Oh boy, after beating the awesome Unova Elite Four, I was shocked to find who the new champion of the region was. I mean, I was seriously not expecting it, and I am glad such a lovable character got that honorable title. Of course, I'm talking about one of the best fights in Pokémon history. I'm talking about the one, the only, Iris! Oh yeah, I'm sure every Black and White 2 player loved this battle as much as I did. First of all, let's begin with the character. As stated before, in the first game, Iris was one of the team leaders from Opaloosie. Her fight was basically the same as Drayden, but she is a young and cheerful girl who likes to be friends with everybody. She is so awesome she got the role of protagonist on the Pokémon anime, and she's still a very likable girl on there. Well, most of the time. In Black 2 and White 2, her personality didn't change much, and she barely appears during the main adventure, but it was worth it when you find out she's the new champion. Now, the battle itself is spectacular, and trust me, I almost choose her over Cynthia for my top 15 favorite final bosses. It's that awesome, but she barely missed that list. Also, she's not as hot as my Cynthia. Yeah. Usually, I don't like when a champion specifies on only one type, but Iris and her dragons are an exception. Not only she brings her Haxorus and Rudigon from the first game and adds a badass Hydreigon, but she also includes Pokémon from other types like Archeops, Aggron and Lapras. Yeah, Lance did this as well, but I prefer Iris. With such a variety on her team, the battle is still very challenging, just like every Pokémon boss should be. But let's not forget the overall epic atmosphere of this fight, with a flashy background and overall one of the most epic and energetic battle themes ever. When I was fighting Iris, I was pumped up. I had a true feeling of final showdown, and beating her made me feel so satisfied. Overall, Iris has one of the best battles in the history of the franchise. She's an awesome character, she has a variety of powerful Pokémon, and the atmosphere is just perfect. You deserve that title of champion, girl. Oh yeah, here we have an epic one. Ladies and gentlemen, the final fight against Natural Harmonia Gropius. You know, N, the king of Team Plasma. Every Pokémon fan loves this battle with a burning passion, and I am no exception. First of all, let's get into his backstory. N is the adopted child of Ghetsis, who ruined the boy's life by teaching him everyone use Pokémon as a tool. When he grew up, he tried to steal everyone's Pokémon without knowing it was all a plan from his father in order to rule the world. This plan was so important for N that he even got to catch a legendary. Yes, I'm not kidding. After beating the Elite Four, N summons his castle and you find him in the throne room. There, the other legendary appears so the protagonist can catch it. Once you did this, the fight begins and oh god, it's so freaking epic! Let me get this. You are having an awesome one-on-one legendary match against your rival. This first phase of the battle is intense and very challenging. However, once you beat it, you still have to defeat the rest of his team. He has a Zoroark who can trick you into thinking he is another Pokémon, the two fossils of the region, and the always powerful Bunnylux and Clank. In conclusion, the battle against N is an epic legendary match, with an interesting backstory and a great atmosphere. But now you might be wondering, Obsidious fan, why is N only number 2? I thought he was on your top 10 favorite boss battles. Well, yeah, that's true, but in all honesty, after you beat his legendary, the rest of the fight is just very easy. Don't get me wrong, it's still tons of fun to play, but when I replayed Black and White 2, I found another boss who is simply better than N. Who could that be? Well, let's recap. Number 10, Hugh. Number 9, Cheren and Bianca. Number 8, the Striaton City Gym Leaders. Number 7, Drayden. Number 6, Alder. Number 5, my beautiful Cynthia. Number 4, Colress. Number 3, Iris. And number 2, N. Heck to the yes! As stated before, my overall favorite video game villain is Ghetsis from these games. And while his original battle was frustrating as hell, the second one is just amazing. First of all, let me talk about the character itself. Ghetsis is the evil ruler of Team Plasma. That's right, he is the bastard that is behind everything that happened in the Unova region. He ruined N's life, he stole everyone's Pokémon, he stole the DNA splicers, he captured Cheren and used him to freeze the region. He's crazy for power and he will do anything to make his plan succeed. I'm not kidding. He even tries to kill you, a Pokémon villain who almost killed the protagonist. As I said before, Ghetsis captured Cheren and stole the DNA splicers with the help of his evil team. N appears and tries to stop him, but he managed to kidnap his legendary and fuse him with Cheren, creating a powerful mixed Pokémon. Now it's your turn to defeat this creature. Well, this first part may be a little bit disappointing since it's very easy to defeat, but the fact that you are fighting such an epic Pokémon makes me love it. However, what puts this at the number 1 spot is the fight against Ghetsis himself. Ghetsis doesn't mess around, he has an armory of dangerous Pokémon and a variety of types. Well, with the exception of having 2 poison Pokémon, but I digress. He trains a defensive Cofagrigus, a badass Drayden who is still 10 levels lower than he should, a bulky Seismitoad, a deadly Electros, a harmful Drapion, and an awesome Toxicroak. These 6 Pokémon are very hard to defeat if you don't prepare yourself properly, and that's all he needs to be at this spot. It's a very challenging battle, but it's also tons of fun. The first time I battled him, I was with my friend Ikana Canyon 7, and every time one of his Pokémon went down, we celebrated with joy. But oh boy, that's not all. The battlefield is full of deadly spikes which don't affect the gameplay, but I think they are a nice touch. But also, his battle theme is downright satanic. Unlike his first theme, this one doesn't fucks around. It goes straight to the point and it makes an amazing atmosphere. Perfect for a showdown against a crazy king who wants to rule the world. And that's why Ghetsis stole this number 1 spot. He's an amazing villain who ruined every life in Unova, he has a great team of powerful Pokémon who made up for a lot of challenge and fun, and the atmosphere was downright intense. And after you beat him, he disappears. Maybe we will see more of Ghetsis in Pokémon X and Y? Only time will tell. So yeah, this is my favorite boss battle in my 2 favorite video games, and you know, that means a lot to me. I am Obsidious fan, and I don't care what anyone says, Ghetsis rocks!